Yes, well, that's true. I mean, because, being a racist means you're going to mistreat people based on color. And how can you justify that? So they'll just say, well, those people, I mean, they're not the way that they ought to be and whatnot, but they kind of ramble when they talk about it. Well, what do you mean, the way they ought to be? Are you the way that you ought to be? I mean, and what are you doing? And see, so there's plenty of questions that need to be answered by everybody, really, literally on the planet. I mean, what type of people should populate this planet? What should they be doing? What should it be that they're not doing, that they should be doing? Mm-hmm. And so that's what it comes down to. Now, I say in the textbook, you never call a person a racist unless that person identifies himself or herself as a racist.
Yes.
Why? Because there's no way to prove it. Okay? I mean, who are you going to prove it by? If I call a white person a racist, who am I going to prove it by? They say, okay, Fuller, you just called me a racist. Prove it. Where's your proof that I'm a racist? I'll say, well, you called me a name. I mean, that's derogatory. You called me the N-word, whatnot. So I have reason to believe that you're a racist. Oh, you have reason to believe that I'm a racist. Well, I say that I'm not. Now, what are you going to do now? Where are you going? Who are you going to prove it by? Anybody who's tried it now, you go into court, you're going to have to prove that somebody is a racist. Otherwise, if you don't go into court, how are you going to prove that somebody is a racist? And when you get to court and you say, I charge this person with racism, and the judge is going to say, okay, where's your evidence? Say, well, the person called me the N-word. Say, well, the person's defense lawyer might say, well, you black people call each other the N-word. Now you're going to discriminate against me because I'm white when I use it? Come on. I mean, what is this? Let's get with it now. I mean, get some focus here. Well, when you use it, it's derogatory. Oh, well, now you're discriminating against me. See what I mean? So now see, black people always have to know what we are doing. We don't understand the world that we are in. We don't understand how to deal with racism. We are perplexed by it. We've been plagued by it since day one, wherever that day one was. Then that'll work. That's why I have it in the word guide. That's what you say. You say, I suspect you of being a racist.
But then you would have to prove that, wouldn't you?
No, you don't. See,
why not?
That's a suspicion.
Suspicion?
No, you don't have to prove suspicion other than to say, a person will say, well, how am I a suspected racist? Say, because I suspect that you could be one. I suspect that you could be one. Okay. And they'll say, well, what gives you the right to suspect? I can suspect that you are a racist because somebody has to be a racist in a racist system. Mm-hmm. And I suspect you could be one.
Okay, but then
and
someone...
That's as far as I need to go because that's just a suspicion. I say, I'm not proving that you won.
So you don't have to prove a suspicion in a court of law?
No, you don't have to prove a suspicion.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know that.
No, I mean, you can suspect that a person is a thief, but that's just a suspicion. See, in other words, I can suspect anybody of being anything. Because that's my prerogative. Yes. Anybody can suspect anybody of being anything. I can walk down the street and suspect that a person, just broke out of jail. So that means you got a set of criteria for what is it that a racist does.
Now, that is constructive. Now, I can feel that one. Okay.
Yes. Okay. See, that's why I say, you never call anybody a racist under any circumstance unless that person says, I'm a racist. Okay. You can call me a racist because that's what I am. Then you can call a person a racist because you can always say, hey, the person said that they were.
Okay.
All right? But now, any white person who is able to be a racist, and we are in a racist system, can be suspected of being a racist.
Okay.
That's the way that works according to the code.